This is Mike. Mike loves electronic music. No matter where he looks, he sees successful DJs. They appear on the television, on the front pages of magazines, and they are talked about everywhere on the internet. Their songs are unavoidable, whether on his playlist, in the mall, or in the gym. DJs are everywhere. There are loads of them, and they all seem to be doing well. Motivated by the success stories of countless DJs, Mike decides he wants to become one as well. But will he make it big? Well, the probability of that happening is a fraction above zero. Like so many others, he will most likely end up in the burial grounds of failed DJs. For every successful DJ, there are thousands of failed ones, and most of them don't make it past their one-time nightclub gig. But wait a minute. Mike isn't convinced by this fact. How can there be thousands of failures when he can clearly see all the success DJs achieve? Thanks to the media, success is made more visible than failure, so the burial grounds are hidden from plain sight. This means that we systematically overestimate our chances of succeeding because failures are ignored. This is known as the survivorship bias, and like many others, Mike has unknowingly fallen prey to it. The survivorship bias is the logical error, concentrating on the people who made it or survived and overlooking those who did not. Let me explain what I mean by this. After Mike found out about this bias, he decided to do some digging. What he noticed shocked him. One of the examples lies in the literary world. For every successful and popular writer, you can find 100 other writers who publish their books but whose books never sell. Behind each one of those are another 100 who wrote a book but haven't found a publisher. And finally, behind each one of them are another 100 whose unfinished manuscripts gather dust in drawers. So if you do the math, for one successful writer, there are 1 million unsuccessful ones. And we didn't even count all the people who dream of one day writing a book. However, we only hear about the successful writers and fail to recognize how unlikely literary success is. Same goes for pretty much any occupation, whether it's entrepreneurs, athletes, television actors, beauty models, and artists. The media is not interested in digging around in the burial grounds of the unsuccessful. Stories of failures aren't interesting, unless it's a successful person that failed. There's a common misconception floating around the internet. You should focus on the successful if you wish to become successful yourself. While there is some truth to that, the survivorship bias is often ignored here. You have probably seen these types of articles before, like 5 surprising habits all successful people have, or 4 things ultra successful people do differently. The logic is simple. If it helped them get success, it should help you as well. Right? Well, not quite. When you factor in the survivorship bias, you notice that we're only focusing on the people that made it, aka survivors. We're forgetting all the men and women that have been applying those 5 surprising habits of successful people, but are not successful. So while their advice might work for some, it has to be noted that it won't work for everyone. We don't even consider that there are probably other elements at play here. One, for example, pure luck. Like being at the right place at the right time or having connections with key people. Those are just some factors that are often disregarded. Let's take a look at Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. They both dropped out of college and started their own companies, which were a huge success. Because they both made it without a college education, it's sometimes suggested that passionate and smart people should do the same. Logically, this advice makes sense. If they've achieved it, what's stopping you from achieving the same thing if you follow their footsteps, right? The problem with this logic, again, is that survivorship bias is not factored in. You are ignoring all the thousands of other students who had a huge business idea, who also dropped out of college, but failed with their company. Now, where is their success? This is why you should take successful people's advice with a grain of salt. There are thousands of people who do the same things as they do, but it doesn't necessarily work out for them. It's just that you don't hear about all those people. But even if you don't notice those who failed, it doesn't mean they're not there. So next time you're analyzing data, it's important to ask yourself what kind of information you don't have. Sometimes the full picture is hidden. If you only focus on the winner's advice, which might be to take more risks, you're ignoring all the losers who say that you should be more careful. I'm not saying that you shouldn't take advice from other successful people, just to keep the survivorship bias in mind whenever you do so. This way you can make much more rational and logical decisions. Also, I'm not seeking to discourage anyone from following their passion and dreams, just trying to show you that not everything is black and white. If you're wondering what happened to Mike, well, he's not a successful DJ. Yet. But he's determined to keep on trying. Even though he knows how unlikely it is for him to succeed, he's still following his passion for music. While keeping the survivorship bias in mind, he's now learning from both successful and failed DJs. Success isn't everything and should not be the end goal, but if you find something you love doing and stick to it, while constantly improving, then that will ultimately lead you to the success you seek. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please hit that like button. And subscribe so you don't miss out on more videos that will make you better than yesterday.